account never answers DMs though.
In your group, your position group, right? You have 4 guys: G, Jeremy, Cade, Mitch, that didn't play tight end in high school. You're trying to organize and coordinate the offense here. Is your job the hardest of anyone on the staff?
I think having done it long enough, you understand maybe where to prioritize your time, because we have a lot of jobs. One, regardless of whether they play the position or not. I mean, we're basically playing left tackle half the time, and we're playing wide receiver half the time. So, I tell a recruit, if you were here 2 years ago or whenever, you'd have, Bose on the left and Chase Young on the right. And if you flex you out wide, you're going against Akuda or Arnett. So, good luck, And a lot of times we get minimized, and like I never go, like Coach does pass protection drills every day. We never do it. But because we're good athletes, we got long arms and good feet, we understand the position. When we max out and do some maximum protections, we're pretty good at it because we do it on the punt team. So there's a lot of carryover, but it's a lot of jobs. I think I wouldn't say it's the hardest job. It kind of keeps you young, kind of keeps you going. One of the old guys asked me, young coaches, when are you going to retire? And I said, well, the first day I'm working, I'm retiring. Because you're having fun. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of flying bullets. And then you got guys like G. There's a lot of great tight ends, though, that didn't play tight end in high school. It's big receivers, it's big quarterbacks, it's linebackers, it's DNs. That's kind of the nature. Mitch is like a big running back. It's that hybrid role. That's kind of the norm. So what they bring is a lot of athleticism. A lot of times, like, G hadn't done a lot of blocking, or Cade having played, but they've played a lot of ball, so they understand concepts. And they understand defense. So in some ways, they're very, very smart. So it's a challenging position, takes a lot of time. It's a developmental position. It's a developmental game. We recruit well. We're still a developmental program. But it's one of the hardest positions to develop. But our guys embrace it. And those kids are they're going to be some good players in that group.
Are they the best football players on the team?
They're unique. You know what I'm saying? They got to do a lot of tasks. So they're kind of like the utility infielder in baseball. The Pete Rose guy that can play third or first or go to second or whatever, and they can play a lot of spots. And there might be a more talented guy that's the most gifted athlete on the team, but they have a skill set where they can do a lot of jobs. And really, that's what, matter of fact, a lot of your best tight ends maybe aren't great at anything. They're good at a lot of things. And that's even what we say, one of our goals to be a tremendous player, a tremendous unit, is just to be good. And then if you're worth a darn, just do it again the next day. And just keep being good and stacking up those days.
Kevin, how much do you enjoy that teaching aspect, that development aspect of this position?
A bunch. I mean, I'm a line guy by trade. I was a walk-on player myself there in the scholarship, and spent more time at places like Miami of Ohio and Northwestern and at IU, where you're developing. But even like at Oklahoma and here at Ohio State, when you're coaching O-line, you're coaching tight ends, it's a learned skill, and it's developmental. And you got guys, what I appreciate our guys are doing there, Jeremy, our guys are buying into practicing every day and showing up. And because it's hard to develop when you can't practice or you don't practice. So our guys are, we always talk about the power of the unit is the individual. The individuals show up, it makes the group strong. As we rotate guys within the group, it makes the individuals better, but the individuals make the group better. Kind of, the wolf and the pack and the wolf kind of scenario there. So, it's run, but we start and run blocking, and then we got blocking the perimeter, and next thing you know, we're hanging on for dear life pass pro, and then you guys get mad because we never throw a ball to them. So, but it's a lot of fun. It's a good spot.
Kevin, when you use that line background, and Stud has talked about getting the best 5, Coach Day's talked about that. What is the thinking behind shuffling through 8 or 9 days of practice instead of maybe trying to get chemistry as early as possible?
For the line?
Putting them in different spots.
Yeah. No, I mean, your chemistry is kind of built with just the bond of being with the group all the time. More than just me and you are partners for life. You're going to have injuries. You got to rotate guys through. You got to play. Me, I always thought you needed 3 guards, 3 tackles, and 2. You needed 8 to win with. You need a second center, and you need 3 inside guys and 3 outside guys. And same thing at tight end. I think tailback we're going to need 3. And receivers we need 6, 7. And so to me, we play a lot. I think the way Coach Day does things, the way the game's evolved, there is a lot of year-round ball with, your summer program. They're kind of playing all the time, so they spend a lot of time together. So I don't think it's fragmented. All of a sudden, the guy shows up, and who are you? Matter of fact, and those guys know. They know what certain guys' skill sets are. So, I guess it takes a little. I think the hardest thing used to be back in the day when you were under center and getting that snap. And the quarterback feeling comfortable managing a snap with different centers that went as under center, but down shotgun, I don't even know if that's what it was. So, I think everybody says, who's your starting 11? I think we need about 18, pushing 24 guys to win this league on offense that can play, and that's what we're going to battle for.
If you guys go with the lineup with DeJuan at right tackle, Thayer inside, is that the biggest line that you've been around? They're pretty athletic though. It's nice to be big, but those cats can move a little bit now. Paris got Nick Petit's very athletic. The athleticism of that unit is maybe more impressive than size, and then their ability to perform. So, and again, it'll be interesting, as it shakes out going forward. Nothing's again etched in stone, and we're just trying to. Matt Jones is playing well. Harry's come back healthy, looks good. Luke Whippler, young player. Josh Fryer, young player. Really impressed with Donovan Edwards, young kid, tremendous young player. So we're going to have more than 5 that we can play with, and that's encouraging. It's exciting.
You were talking about the fact that most of the guys in tight end room actually weren't tight ends ever until they got here. At least 2 of them were classified as that before they got here. Could you just use that formula in recruiting and go find a wide receiver and just tell him the whole time, listen, we want you to be a tight end?
It's a little hard. Like Jeremy and Joe basically were called tight ends, but if you watch their high school tape, they flexed out the whole time. Jeremy played flexed out tight end, caught fade balls. I don't know if he seldom, if ever, played tight end. He played some defensive end. He was a kicker. Joe was flexed out and a great pass receiver. G was the same thing. Cade was a tailback guy. They wouldn't even let me talk to Cade when he was coming out. They wanted to play defense. And I'm like, man, his body says tight end to me. And that worked out good. So to me, it's body types, the bone structure. It's not how tall you are, and it's not how much you weigh. It's really just the girth and width of your shoulders, your knees, your hips, hands, that you can have the ability. Like, G right now is a little light, pushing upper 220s, pushing 230, but he plays strong. If we put a bench out here and start a bench, and he'll be maybe the strongest tight end we got as far as bench. So to be a little light, he still plays with speed and momentum. So he's really probably 6'3"ish, not a 6'5" guy, but he's thick enough to be a tight end. So everybody's a little bit different.
I know that he came to you guys with the idea, but when you guys were recruiting him, did you, to the point of his body types, did you see it at all?
You thought he had? I personally thought he had a chance, but there's also a niche for a big receiver. So he had a chance. He would need to get. I don't know if he'd be tough enough. He's plenty tough enough. The best thing about him and Joe and Jeremy, they were flexed out guys. They could be big enough, but they have been raised and come out of programs where they're actually tough. Like, I don't have to they'll put their face in there and they'll block you and they'll strain, and they don't play like a guy that shies away from contact. There's something in their upbringing, the way God made them, and their coaching. They mix it up, and that to me, because that's the hard thing from a skill guy. Sometimes quarterbacks, some of those big tall quarterbacks can become tight ends, but some of those guys maybe don't want to mix it up. So everybody's a little bit different. But I think that's a skill that you don't put a clock or something on, but those guys are tough enough to play the position, and I think they're tough enough to develop, because it takes some toughness to want to hit the weight room and eat and rest like you need to rest to play that position.
But I want to ask you off the quarterback position, question. You give your assessment on the quarterback.
We're gaining on it. This is a long way to get big day tomorrow for the scrimmage. It's still another week, and Coach hasn't really said anything other than I think his plan was to kind of go through the bulk of it, and then we got almost 2 weeks, 12 days coming out the next weekend to kind of figure it out. So we'll just kind of keep riding. They're working hard, competing. Corey's doing a great job with them. We're doing as much as we can to do as much group work, and whether it be a group of receivers running routes with them or tailbacks and time up. They're seldom by themselves. They're with someone, working a unit, a group, and they're getting a lot of plays, and they're being pushed, and they're looking good. They're talented. And the way we can run the ball, I think, and the receivers they got, they're going to get a nice car. They're going to get some nice. They got a nice little vehicle to drive, and we'll see who can put their hands on and steer it the best.
That's the next question. Is they're walking into a situation where they've got an incredible supporting cast. You've had great offenses the last 2 years. What's the potential for this one?
It can be really good. There's some playmakers outside. I think the ability to be interesting to get in with. Last year running back with Master, And Trey took us. We did well, but took a little time to get going. Now same deal. We got Master back, but Mayan hadn't played that much. We got the young guy in there, and Crowley. So be interested to see, does the running game take off like maybe it can? And that tight end, I mean, don't undervalue Luke Farrell and the job he did in helping that offense last year in the run game and protection and all that deal. I think Cade's going to be fine, but now I got to wear in practice. I wouldn't watch Luke. Now I could count on him to, I put an X on that guy. He's got his guy locked up pretty good, and Cade's doing well. But it'd be interesting to see if we can establish. When everybody talks about balance, to me, unless you're an option team, they're really saying, can you run the ball? So if we can have that balance, if we can run the ball, then I think that car is going to be shiny, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, Kevin, I asked Ryan Day the other day about the personnel you guys have on hand. Y'all could run, looks like almost any offense through history. I'm talking about you could line up like that, the talent's there to run.
Wing T?
Yeah, I mean,
down backers. They'd boo us out.
Yeah, but I mean, how do you keep yourself from daydreaming about that with this kind of talent? Like you said, the car this quarterback's going to put his hands on.
Well,
and then number two, what do you think y'all will hang your hat on? What are the tenets that will definitely be there no matter what?
Those are good questions there, Tim, because I think I said this maybe 1 or 2 years ago. We're talking about the worst thing you do as an offensive guy like Coach Day or myself is just keep coming up with new plays and new plays and new plays. You don't get good at anything where you hang your hat. I think we're talking about the quarterback, so I think we come out of this week and next week and we get a feel with this line and running backs and tight end, where can you hang your hat? And are you in the perimeter, are you downhill, or you're zone scheming, gap scheming, man, what are the schemes? You can do them all, but at the end of the day, what are you good at? And you get good at something, as talented as well, we still got to be very repetitive and get consistent in our preparation so we're not all over the place. So I think as we go through this next week, you got some moving parts. Those tight ends can flex out and come in. We got 3-4 receivers. Quarterback not as athletic as Justin, so maybe you're not running quite as much quarterback. They all can run, just maybe not as pure a runner or as athletic a runner as Justin was. But I think we go another week. I don't think it's going to look a lot different, but I just think things maybe get emphasized. We'll come back to what those tight ends can do. The passing game, what those quarterbacks really can handle. Not that Garrett and Chris and Jackson can't run those routes, and Julian Fleming and Marvin Harrison and Mecca. Those guys can run a lot of good routes, but what are the quarterbacks comfortable with? We will do everything we can to be as physical as we can. We'll do everything we can to protect the ball and the quarterback, and we'll do everything we can to light it up and score as much as we can, and that's what we're going to try to do.
Mike Williams, fans got excited about him when they saw him break a couple runs late last season. What is he showing you guys in workouts and practices behind the scenes that's going to be more consistent and put him in the position?
Again, he's matured. He's had a good summer, stronger, looks faster. I think it's difficult for a back like mine because, as Coach Alford said, myself at tight ends, I rotate about every 2 or 3 plays, another guy. I think mine's one of those guys, the more he plays, he can kind of wear on you because he's thick. And if you got into a scrimmage and you got into a 8 and a 10 and a 12 play drive and you really started mashing, some of those 3-yard runs go 6 and 7 and 8, and he starts popping them. So sometimes probably the way we rotate to keep them fresh, we rotate to see what guys can do. Maybe he doesn't play to his strength. So when you're looking for, he's looked well. I'm sure he would probably say he'd look better if you just could give it to him over and over. And of course, then we do that. Then the receivers are wanting their stuff, and then nobody complains because the tight ends never catch a ball. But we still have one of the best offenses in college football. So, but he's doing well.
I would think that's probably true of a lot of running backs, right? The more they get it, is that going to be?
Yeah, I think some guys can come off the bench a little quicker than others. Some like in the basketball game, some guys can come out and light it, and other guys got to play to get in rhythm. And that's a little bit of the nature of where we're at right now, because we got to do it to keep them fresh, not just to make it through a 2-week grind of a camp scenario, but to be really good late October, November, and when you're trying to make a run to be the best team you can be. So a lot of the stuff we're doing now is for wear and tear, consistency of practice habits, building volume, building our team up, but then really that we can be good for the long haul. And maybe that individually that makes that guy look a little mucky, but at the same time, he's worked hard. I think Coach Day, I know Coach Alford has confidence in what Mayan can do. And the other, Marcus Crowley's come on, has had a nice preseason camp as well. The 2 young kids, Evan Pryor's actually looking really good, gaining. Trayvon's a great young player, and he got master. It's a veteran. So it's a deep room. It's a good room. Good players.
How much do you truly know about a running back until they get that 6-8 carry series in a game?
Yeah, and really get hit. We're doing, some situations are full go, but you do as much as you can poking at the ball, prodding at the ball. But when the game's on the line, and like you say, as they get fatigued and tired, and confidence level, maturity level. So that's going to be the nature of this team. That's the nature of having a lot of young players. It's the nature of last year being so broken up with COVID, with missing some of the summer or preseason training or the games. So we're very much in a development. We're very, very talented, very much developing, and very much moving forward. And there's a lot of unknowns, but we are practicing well. That gives you a chance.
And then tomorrow, if there's just one thing that you could get settled, get accomplished coming out of the scrimmage tomorrow, what would it be?
I'd like to see us be as physical as we are talented, take care of the ball, because I think every year it's a tough physical game, but you pop the pads. And it's no different than a boxer getting ready for a fight. You got to get in the ring. You got to learn how to protect yourself, how to hit, to take hits. And I like tomorrow to come out and be physical, but be clean and be healthy on both sides of the ball. Like to see our guys come off the ball. I'm sure defense will see themselves tackle. We'll see running backs break tackles, guys get them on the ground, but do it in a way that we're very, very physical, but come out in a clean way, so then we can have another strong week. I don't want to get through tomorrow and just see plays, or get through tomorrow. I think tomorrow is a toughness day. And I think the end of the day, this game's about competing and being resilient, being tough. And I think that's what tomorrow gives us a chance to gauge 2 weeks plus out, where are we as we start this journey.
Kevin, we saw Thayer out here on Tuesday. We didn't see him yesterday. Was he able to do stuff there just versus Thayer?
Excuse me?
We saw Thayer out there on Tuesday. We
Yep.
didn't see him yesterday. Just how's he doing? Or
Good. I just think he's been limited here for a day or two, but yeah, he's been good. He's looked good. We've actually, again, he's played left tackle, but guard. Nick's over there. I think we're trying to get in position where Thayer can play that left guard or tackle. Parrish can play that right guard or right tackle. So we're playing on the right side. So you're keeping the right hands for that chemistry. You're keeping in the right-handed stance. The calls are the same. The play side's the same. The back side's the same. So that's a part of the process of maybe those second tackles or those talented guards, and they're working in unison on that right side. So the recall, the play call, the blocking scheme, the calls are the same. What we do in zone play to right guard is very similar to right tackle. So we just kick it over 2 feet and rock and roll.
Kevin, you mentioned that the quarterbacks aren't quite as athletic as Justin.
Well, who is? I mean, besides us two.
This is correct. That is very true. In terms of the quarterbacks themselves, are they similar enough where you feel like the scheme can be pretty similar regardless of who the quarterback is, or do you have to make a decision so that you can build the scheme around them?
Yeah, and I guess Coach Day and Coach Dennis will be much more clear that or detailed or exact, because they're seeing more of everything. But their ability to throw, their ability to run is not far different size. So it's not like, for the most part, we don't have a thing like, okay, this guy's the quarterback and just run these plays, and this guy's we're just kind of running plays. And now we might say, hey, so-and-so didn't do this one yesterday. Hey, let's give him that look again. Let's help him gain on that play because it wasn't what we wanted. But it's not like we have a menu of plays for Jack or CJ. We don't have a menu for those guys at all.
Do you guys need that quarterback run? I mean,
Kyle as well.
Even when Dwayne was here, there was a little bit of it. Does that need to be a threat, the quarterback run?
Yeah, it's nice. And even if not run, it's nice to have the run, but sometimes you just got to extend the play. You know, one of the best things of Justin wasn't the quarterback run, but he can make a little chicken salad sometimes when it wasn't the right piece of chicken. He can still make a play, because you're going to miss a block, you're going to miss a blitz, and protect yourself, protect the ball, and once in a while, extend the play and make a scramble play on third down where maybe it's not there, protection breaks down, but I can move and extend the play and move the change. And so whether it be movement throws, in your sprint outs or bootleg passes, it's always nice to do, I guess, to technically move the launch spot, as us quarterbacks or coaches will say we're moving the quarterback. But, sometimes it's nice they account from the run game, but it's really nice to just make a play when it's a little muddy and you can buy a little time. Like Dwayne was tremendous at buying time, staying in the pocket, keeping his feet underneath him, and delivering the football. And we can say he wasn't maybe as athletic as Justin, but he moved in the pocket naturally and very athletically. That's why he had a phenomenal year.
So what kind of chicken salad are you getting in camp?
Pretty good. Pretty good. We're trying to figure out if we're going to cut up the pickles or go with the celery, with that. And are you using Duke mayonnaise? My wife's vegan, so we use veganese. I got a jar of Dukes on the bottom refrigerator door if you needed those.
Kevin,
Two more questions.
We also saw that Garrett was limited in practice the other day. Is there any concern about how
No, he was good today. Yesterday, just so his guys again with just the amount of running sometimes, and that's the best thing. Coach Mick is first of all, Coach Mick will look at running and say, if you can, please do red zone 7-on-7. Sometimes we're doing that not for scheme, but to take the volume of running off. So I think we just had a situation with him that we were just trying to minimize some workload because he had the most work this summer of any player when they tracked distance, ran, and speed. He was known, so he's had a little bit. So I think we're trying to, again, we're talking not just to get to Saturday or not just to get to the opener, but as we go through the season, the wear and tear on these kids' bodies.
Kevin, you grew up in an era when 2-a-days were the norm, et cetera.
3-a-days.
Yeah, 3-a-days, yeah. I would think you looked at preseason camp like, is it ever going to get over? I may be wrong about that, but are you guys getting what you want out of these 1-a-days, the restrictions, et cetera, to get a team ready to play a football game?
I think from a scheme standpoint, we're actually the first rule they did this year is they allowed us to wear these spider pads the first 2 days of practice. Well, they used to just wear helmets. We still did team, and players were hitting their helmets on shoulders and their collarbones, and the linemen tell you it was horrible. You did not like anything about this practice at all. And I think wearing the spiders actually was more healthy for the players. So we started, I think, putting our players in healthier position by allowing them the pad. Now, it still wasn't contact or to the ground or tackle. With the walkthroughs we're getting every night, we're probably getting more plays than we've ever gotten, more schemes than we've ever gotten, more signals, more formations, more adjustments, more blitzes, more defenses. So we're probably farther along schematically with what we've thrown at them. What you want to make sure at the end of the day, though, it's still blocking and tackling. And that when it comes time to have a padded day, and if you're a player and it's a padded day, and you have a chance where maybe 1 or 2 or 3 of those padded practices go by you, or maybe you couldn't go because you were nicked up, those could catch you because there was only 9 truly padded practices before the first game. So as we go, it's the ability to be very efficient with your time. That's been Coach Day's mantra all camp. Very efficient. The drill's being done for a reason, and there's purpose, and the time is valued so that we maximize it. If that's the case, we'll be fine.
And really quickly, do you consider your room, the tight end room, sort of the Swiss Army knife of this offense? Because, you know, when you look at it, I mean, I'm not slamming anybody, but there seems to be a big difference between Mitch Rossi and Jeremy Rucker, and then G. Scott, like you were asked about a while ago.
Yeah.
Does that allow this team to have more flexibility? I mean,
to some degree, but when we're really good, G can block and Mitch can catch a route, you know, and K can play in the perimeter and Jeremy can get in the edge. So when it gets that way, and you talk to Swiss Army knife, sometimes we use the Jack Nicholson speech in a room that, you know, we use words like, you know, arc the nose up and, you know, cut off and bender, and we go through the code. We use all because you need us on that wall, because when the tight end is there, he helps the line, he helps the quarterback, and he can make your offense much, much better. And that's our goal. See you guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Bye, guys.